Most people will never break free. It's not an exaggeration, it's a fact. Look around. The vast majority of people wake up, follow the same routine, work a job they tolerate, and spend their free time escaping reality rather than building a future. They stay in their comfort zones, waiting for life to hand them success. But life doesn't work that way. If you don't take control, someone else will. And let me tell you, society's more than happy to keep you in line. From the moment you're born, you're taught to follow the system. Go to school, get a job, play it safe, retire at 65 if you're lucky. They condition you to settle for good enough. But here's the truth. Good enough is a trap. It's a slow, quiet death of your dreams. Are you unknowingly trapped in the 98%? The ones who watch life happen instead of making life happen. Because let me be clear, there is a difference between existing and truly living. Let me tell you something. Most people aren't trapped by their circumstances, they're trapped by their habits. Every single day they wake up and repeat the same routine, walk the same path, make the same choices. And then they wonder why nothing changes. It's not the world holding them back, it's their excuses. I don't have time, I'm not lucky enough, I'll start next week. These are the silent chains that keep people locked in place. But here's the hard truth. The longer you wait, the deeper you sink. Comfort zones, they're not safe havens, they're invisible prisons. They feel warm, familiar, even comforting, but they're where dreams go to die. Every great breakthrough happens when someone dares to step beyond what feels comfortable. Is it bad luck or just repetition? Look at your patterns. If you're stuck, chances are you're making the same choices over and over, and until you change those choices, nothing will change for you. If you don't change, nothing will. It's that simple. Too many people wait for life to magically fix itself. They think that one day the right opportunity will fall into their lap, that success will somehow find them, but life doesn't work that way. Nothing changes unless you change. If you keep thinking the same way, doing the same things, living the same routine, you'll get the same results. And here's the brutal truth. The cost of inaction is far higher than the pain of effort. Every day you hesitate, you're falling further behind. Every excuse you make is another step toward regret. Stagnation doesn't just keep you where you are, it pulls you backward. How many dreams have been buried by procrastination? How much potential has been wasted by fear? You have two choices. Keep sleepwalking through life or take control right now. No one is coming to save you. This is your moment. What are you going to do with it? Most people have a PhD in excuses, but zero experience in action. They can analyze, justify, and rationalize why they can't do something better than they can actually do it. They say, I would chase my dream, but, and then comes the long list of reasons. Too busy, too broke, too late, too tired. Let's break these down. I don't have time. Really? Everyone gets 24 hours. The difference is how you use them. I don't have money. Ever notice how people find money for what truly matters to them? They'll buy the latest phone, stream every subscription, but somehow investing in their future is too expensive. It's too late for me. Tell that to Colonel Sanders, who built KFC in his 60s, or Vera Wang, who became a designer in her 40s. Age is not the barrier, mindset is. Here's the harsh reality. Every excuse you make is another brick in the wall that traps you. A wall you build with your own hands. And the longer you stack those excuses, the harder it becomes to break free. The question is, are you ready to stop building that wall and start? Comfort is the enemy of progress. It whispers in your ear, telling you to take it easy, to wait until you feel ready. But let me tell you something, comfort is not your friend. It's a silent executioner, slowly killing your potential, your ambition, your future. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you reinforce failure. Think about it. When you skip the gym because it's too hard, when you avoid that tough conversation because it's too uncomfortable, when you refuse to take a risk because you might fail, you're not just staying the same, you're moving backward. Comfort isn't neutral. It's a slow poison that numbs you into a life of mediocrity. Yes, growth is painful. Yes, stepping outside your comfort zone is terrifying. But stagnation, that's fatal. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness. They didn't get there by playing it safe. They embraced the discomfort. They leaned into the struggle and they grew because of it. So ask yourself, are you living or are you just existing? Are you pushing forward or are you letting comfort tighten its grip around your dreams? Because if you don't break free, one day you'll wake up and realize you never really lived at all. Limbing over it, there are two types of people in this world, the 98% and the 2%. And the difference between them, a choice. The 98% blame. They point fingers at the economy, their parents, their past. They have a long list of excuses for why they aren't where they want to be. The 2% take ownership. They don't waste time crying about what happened to them. They focus on what they can do about it. The 98% wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions. But let me tell you something. Perfection is a lie. It's an excuse dressed up as strategy. The 2% create. They don't wait for doors to open, they build their own. They take risks, they fail, they adapt, and they keep moving forward. The 98% wish. They wish for success, for money, for freedom, but wishes don't build empires. The 2% work. While others are sleeping, they're grinding. While others are making excuses, they're making progress. While others dream, they execute. So the question is simple, which one are you? Are you waiting, blaming, wishing, or are you stepping up, taking ownership, and making things happen? Because at the end of the day, success isn't about luck. It's about a decision. Your decision. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more hiding. You've been standing at the edge, thinking, hoping, wishing, but let me ask you, how long will you wait? How many more chances will you let pass? How much longer will you let fear dictate your life? The world owes you nothing. Nobody is coming to save you. Success, happiness, growth, these aren't handed out. They're earned, and the only person who can earn them is you. So decide right now, are you in or out? Are you ready to step up, to take control, to fight for what you want? Or will you keep playing small, letting the days slip by? This isn't about motivation, it's about a choice. A decision to commit, to push, to refuse anything less than your best. You either want it or you don't. So what's it gonna be? Let's be real. 98% of people will never break free. They will live the same routine year after year, wondering why nothing changes. Not because they aren't capable, but because they've been conditioned to stay exactly where they are. Society doesn't teach you to win, it teaches you to comply, to follow the path laid out for you, to trade your dreams for security, to accept good enough instead of fighting for more. And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's happening. This is the silent epidemic. Comfort, distraction, and excuses. People waste hours scrolling, numbing their minds with entertainment, avoiding the hard work that could change their lives. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. The truth is harsh, but it's simple. If you don't wake up, if you don't take control, you will get left behind. So the question is, will you be part of the 98% or the 2% who break free? Are you really in control of your life, or are you just going through the motions, trapped in a cycle you never chose? Wake up, work, scroll, sleep, repeat, day after day, telling yourself you're doing your best, but deep down, you know you're stuck. This is how most people live, caught in routines that keep them in place, mistaking movement for progress. They stay busy, but they're not growing. They're working, but not building. They're moving, but not advancing. It's like running on a treadmill. You feel exhausted, but you're still in the same spot. And here's the truth. The chains holding you back aren't physical, they're mental. They're the habits, the doubts, and the distractions you allow. But chains can be broken, cycles can be escaped. The only question is, will you finally take control, or will you keep letting life happen to you? 4-0. What separates the top 2% from everyone else? It's not luck, it's not talent. It's a mindset, a relentless, unshakable commitment to growth. Most people wait for the right time, the right motivation, the right opportunity. But the 2%, they don't wait, they take action. Daily, consistently, even when they don't feel like it. Success isn't magic, it's not reserved for the chosen few. It's built brick by brick through discipline, sacrifice, and an obsession with getting better. And here's the hard truth. You're either making progress or making excuses. Every choice, every habit, every hour of your life is either moving you forward or keeping you stuck. The question is, what are you choosing? Are you growing, or are you just talking about it? Because the winners, they don't just dream, they execute. And that's the difference. Let me tell you something. If you don't change, nothing will. Life isn't going to magically hand you what you want. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. You either take control or you stay exactly where you are. And what's the price of staying stuck? Regret, wasted time, dreams that die before they even have a chance to live. You don't get another shot at today. Every moment you spend waiting, hesitating, or making excuses is a moment you'll never get back. So you have two choices. Stay asleep, keep hitting snooze on your potential, keep making the same excuses, or wake up and take control. Because if you don't take charge of your life, someone else will. And trust me, you won't like where they take you. The question is, what are you going to do? 4-0. Most people have a PhD in excuses but zero experience in action. They can write essays about why they can't do something, but when it comes to actually doing the work, silence. I don't have time. I don't have money. It's too late for me. Sound familiar? These phrases aren't just words, they're chains. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall that traps you where you are. And the longer you stack those bricks, the harder it becomes to break free. Think about it. Someone with less time than you is making it work. Someone with fewer resources is pushing forward. Someone who started later in life is proving that it's never too late. The difference? They stopped talking about why they can't and started focusing on how they can. Excuses are easy, action is hard. But action is the only thing that leads to change. So the question is, are you going to keep building a prison out of your own excuses? Or are you finally going to break through and take control of your life? 4-0, comfort is the enemy of progress. It whispers in your ear telling you that you're fine where you are. It tricks you into believing that tomorrow is a better time to start. But let me tell you something. Comfort is not your friend. It's your executioner. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you reinforce failure. You stay in that job you hate because it's easier than chasing your dreams. You skip the gym because staying on the couch feels better in the moment. You put off that big decision because the unknown feels too risky. But while you sit there waiting, life moves on. And the only thing you gain is regret. Growth is painful, but stagnation is fatal. Look at anyone who has achieved something great. They didn't get there by staying comfortable. They struggled, they took risks, they failed, learned, and pushed forward. So ask yourself, are you living or are you just existing? Because if you're not growing, you're slowly dying. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the smaller your world becomes. Step out, face the discomfort. Because on the other side of it is the life you were meant to live. 4-0. If your life sucks, it's because of you. Not your parents, not the government, not your past. You. That's the hardest truth most people don't want to hear. But until you own that truth, nothing will change. Life is like chess. If you're losing, it's because of the moves you made. Sure, maybe you were dealt a tough hand. Maybe life threw obstacles in your way. But guess what? That's true for everyone. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is simple. The moment you stop blaming and start taking control, everything shifts. Think about it. The most successful people in the world weren't born into perfect circumstances. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for TV. Elon Musk was bullied relentlessly as a kid. J.K. Rowling was a broke, struggling single mother. They had every excuse to quit, but they didn't. They took ownership of their situation and did something about it. So here's the question. Are you ready to stop pointing fingers and start making moves? Because the second you decide that your life is yours to build, your excuses lose their power. And that's when real change begins. 4-0, there are two kinds of people in this world. The 98% and the 2%. The 98% blame, the 2% take ownership. The 98% wait, the 2% create, the 98% wish. The 2% work. The question is, which one are you? The 98% look at their problems and say, it's not my fault. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the lucky break. They wish things were different, but they do nothing to change them. And years later, they wonder why life hasn't gone their way. The 2%, they don't have time for excuses. If something's broken, they fix it. If they don't have a way, they make one. They understand that success isn't given, it's taken. These are the people who rise. The ones who set the standard, the ones who build legacies. Think about this. Every single great achiever you admire, they were once where you are. The difference? They made a choice. They refused to be part of the 98%. So ask yourself, are you waiting or are you working? Are you blaming or are you building? Because at the end of the day, you don't get to choose the game, but you do get to choose how you play it. 4-0. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more hiding. You've spent enough time hesitating, overthinking, and second-guessing yourself. The world owes you nothing. You owe yourself effort. You owe yourself discipline. You owe yourself the chance to see what happens when you commit fully and completely. This is your moment, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Because let me tell you something, you will never feel ready. There will always be fear. There will always be uncertainty. But winners don't wait for the perfect moment. They step up and make the moment perfect. So decide, are you in or are you out? Success is not about what you have, it's about how you think. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. Every outcome in your life starts with a single thought. The question is, are your thoughts leading you forward or holding you back? Think of your brain as a GPS. If you don't set the right destination, you'll never get there. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that life is unfair, that success is for other people, guess what? Your brain will find every excuse to prove you right. But if you decide right now that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are in control, everything shifts. Winners think differently. They don't see problems, they see challenges to overcome. They don't focus on what they lack, they focus on what they can create. They don't wait for opportunities, they build them. That's the mindset that separates the top 2% from everyone else. Reprogram your thoughts. Replace doubt with belief, replace excuses with action, because once your mind is locked in on success, nothing can stop you. The top 2%, the real winners believe in themselves before anyone else does. They don't wait for proof. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the world to tell them it's possible. They see the future before it exists. Most people need validation before they take action. They need someone to say, yes, you can do this. But the great ones, they validate themselves. They decide deep down that their vision is real, even when no one else sees it. That's what separates those who create history from those who watch it happen. Think about Elon Musk. When he started SpaceX, people laughed. Experts told him it was impossible, but he didn't ask for approval. He didn't wait for the aerospace industry to accept him. He acted as if his success was inevitable. And now, he's redefining space travel. This is the power of belief. If you wait for someone else to believe in you first, you'll be waiting forever. You have to see it before it happens. You have to wake up every day and act like the future you want is already on its way. So, let me ask you, do you believe in yourself? Or are you waiting for the world to do it for you? Because if you can't see your success before it happens, no one else will. You can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. That's the hard truth. Success doesn't care about your reasons, your struggles, or your setbacks. The world rewards results, not explanations. Look around, the top 2% don't waste time blaming circumstances. They don't sit around pointing fingers. They take full ownership of their actions, their mindset, and their results. If something isn't working, they don't complain, they adjust. They figure it out, they move forward. Think about Michael Jordan. He got cut from his high school basketball team. Most people would have given up, blaming the coach, the system, or bad luck, but Jordan didn't make excuses, he made progress. He trained harder, he pushed himself beyond limits, he took ownership of his future. The result? 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, and a legacy that still dominates the game. So ask yourself, are you making progress or are you making excuses? Are you owning your results or are you blaming something else? Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. No one is handing out success. It's up to you. Winners don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for motivation. They take action, they adapt, and they make things happen. No excuses. It's time to decide, are you going to be part of the 2% or are you going to let excuses keep you stuck where you are? 4-0 pain. Most people run from it, they avoid it, complain about it, and do everything they can to escape it. But the top 2%, they lean into it. They know that struggle isn't a punishment, it's the process. It's the weight room for your mind, body, and soul. Look at Michael Jordan. He wasn't born a champion. He was cut from his high school basketball team. That moment could have broken him. But instead of making excuses, instead of letting that pain define him, he used it as fuel. He trained harder, pushed further, and turned rejection into greatness. 6 championships later, the world didn't remember the failure, only the legend. So let me ask you, what do you do with pain? Do you let it stop you, or do you let it shape you? Because pain is a teacher. It reveals your weaknesses, but only so you can turn them into strengths. It forces you to grow, to get tougher, to get smarter. Think about the gym. If you lift light weights forever, you never get stronger. But when you push beyond what's comfortable, when your muscles burn, when you struggle, that's when real strength is built. Life is no different. Growth only happens when you embrace the discomfort, not when you avoid it. So don't run from the pain. Use it. Let it mold you into something unstoppable, because every struggle, every setback, every ounce of hardship, it's not breaking you. It's building. 4-0. Success isn't luck. It's not talent. It's not some secret formula that only a few people know. It's habits. Small, consistent actions repeated every single day. The top 2% don't wake up hoping for success. They create it. And they do it through 3 things: ruthless discipline, continuous learning, and relentless execution. Let's talk about ruthless discipline. Winners don't negotiate with their emotions. They don't wake up and ask, do I feel like working today? No. They show up no matter what. Rain or shine, tired or energized, motivated or not, it doesn't matter. Because they understand one truth: discipline beats motivation every time. Then there's continuous learning. The most successful people in the world never stop improving. They don't waste hours scrolling through nonsense. They invest in themselves, they read, they study, they surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow, because they know that the moment you stop learning, you start losing. And finally, relentless execution. Knowledge means nothing without action. The 2% don't just dream, they do. They take risks, they fail, they adjust, and they keep moving forward. While everyone else talks about their goals, they're out there making them happen. So ask yourself, are your habits setting you up for success? Because success isn't about what you do once in a while, it's about what you do every day. 4-0. There's one thing that separates the elite from everyone else: obsession. Not talent, not luck, not connections. The ones at the top don't just like what they do. They don't treat it like a hobby or a side project. They live it, breathe it, they become it. That's the difference between dabblers and the elite. Dabblers try something, hit a roadblock, and quit. They get excited about a goal for a few weeks, but when the grind gets tough, they walk away. The elite, they commit. They push through when others fold. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it through action. Because here's the truth: passion alone isn't enough. Interest fades when things get hard. You might love basketball, but are you willing to shoot 1,000 free throws a day, even when no one's watching? You might dream of starting a business, but are you willing to work at it after everyone else has gone to sleep? That's the difference. The ones who succeed don't just want it, they need it. That's the lion mentality. A lion doesn't chase prey because it's fun. It chases because it must eat. That's how the top 2% approach their goals. They go all in. They don't dabble, they dominate. They don't play the game, they change it. So ask yourself, are you interested or are you obsessed? Because obsession is the price of greatness. 4-0. If you want to achieve anything great, you need to understand one thing: focus is your greatest weapon. Not intelligence, not motivation, not even talent. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones who can lock in on a goal and refuse to be distracted. But here's the problem. We live in a world that's designed to steal your focus. Social media, endless notifications, constant noise. Distractions are everywhere, and they're keeping you from your true potential. Distraction is your biggest enemy. If you don't take control of your attention, someone else will. Your time is either building your dream or fueling someone else's. So, how do you kill distraction? You train your mind like a sniper. A sniper doesn't shoot randomly. They don't spray bullets and hope for the best. They take one shot with absolute precision. That's how you need to approach your goals. Pick one target, eliminate everything else. You can't do 10 things at once and expect world-class results. Winners don't multitask. They prioritize and execute. Here's your challenge. Remove one major distraction today. Maybe it's the endless scrolling. Maybe it's that toxic relationship. Maybe it's excuses. Whatever it is, cut it out, because every second you waste is a second you could have spent building your future. Lock in, aim, fire, and don't stop until you hit your target. 4-0, let me tell you something. Waiting is the fastest route to failure. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll wait for the right time? Let me save you the suspense. Tomorrow never comes. The perfect moment you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. While you sit there overthinking, someone else is out there making moves, taking risks, and getting ahead. And the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards action. And that's the biggest mistake people make. They want everything to be perfect before they start. Execution beats perfection every single time. You don't need a flawless plan. You need momentum. Look at every successful entrepreneur, athlete, artist. They all have one thing in common. They started before they were ready. They launched, failed, adjusted, and kept going. That's how you win. You need to develop the do it now mentality. The top 2% of people in any field, they don't hesitate. They don't wait for motivation, they don't wait for permission, they move. You see an opportunity, take it. You have an idea, act on it. You feel resistance, push through it. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Because at the end of the day, what separates dreamers from doers? One word, action. No excuses, no waiting, just relentless execution. The choice is yours. Sit on the sidelines or get in the game. Let me tell you a hard truth. Your circle defines your future. Who you spend time with is shaping you, whether you realize it or not. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you're surrounded by people who think small, complain, and make excuses, their mindset will infect yours. It's like trying to run with weights tied to your ankles. You won't get far. Now let's talk about winners versus losers. Winners lift you up, they challenge you, they push you to be better. Losers, they drain your energy. They keep you stuck. They don't want to see you grow because it reminds them of their own inaction. And if you're not careful, their mentality becomes yours. So ask yourself, are the people around you pushing you forward or holding you back? If you want a better life, upgrade your environment. Get around people who inspire you, who are doing what you want to do, who make you uncomfortable because they think bigger. Success isn't just about hard work, it's about who you surround yourself with. Change your circle, change your future. 4-0, let me ask you something. How committed are you to your goals? Are you all in, or do you have one foot out the door just in case? Because if you're holding on to a backup plan, you're already preparing to fail. Plan B is killing your success. Think about it. When you have a safety net, you don't push as hard. You don't give it everything. You hesitate. And that hesitation, that's what keeps people stuck. Winners don't think like that. They go all in. They burn the boats. So there's no way back, no escape plan. The only option is victory. Before he became a champion, he told his family, there's no plan B. He was broke, living on welfare, but he acted like a world champion before he ever stepped in the ring. He trained like his life depended on it. And guess what? It did. That's the mindset you need. When you have no way out, you find a way forward. So cut off the escape routes. Stop playing it safe. Commit fully. Because when quitting is not an option, success becomes your only outcome. 4-0-0. Let me tell you something. The difference between the top 2% and everyone else isn't luck, talent, or background. It's commitment. It's the relentless drive to push past pain, fear, and doubt. Most people talk about success, but only a few are willing to do what it takes. The question is, which one are you? No more excuses. No more I'll start tomorrow. No more waiting for the perfect moment. Because that moment, it doesn't exist. Success demands urgency. You have to move now before your excuses harden into regret. And that means letting go of comfort. Because comfort is a trap. It keeps you small, it keeps you average. If you want to be in the 2%, you have to break free. Push yourself. Go all in. Prove you belong. 4-0, I want you to stop and ask yourself one question. Where will you be in 10 years? Not where you wish you'd be, not where you hope you'll be, but where your current habits, decisions, and mindset are actually taking you. Because here's the brutal truth. You are building your future right now. Every action you take, every excuse you make, every opportunity you ignore is shaping the life you'll have a decade from now. So fast forward. Picture your life in 10 years. Are you thriving or are you still stuck? Still waiting? Be honest with yourself. If you keep doing what you're doing today, will you be proud of the person you become? Or will you look back with regret, wishing you had started sooner, worked harder, taken the risks? Because here's what happens when you wait. Nothing changes. Life doesn't magically hand you success. If you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? And how many times has that tomorrow never come? The people who succeed, the ones who change their lives, they don't wait. They don't hope. They take action. So if you don't like where your life is headed, change direction now. Excuses feel harmless in the moment. I'll do it later. I don't have time. I'm not ready yet. But let me tell you what happens when you stack those excuses day after day, year after year. You wake up one day and realize you've wasted a decade. Procrastination isn't just delaying action, it's delaying your life. Think about the dreams you once had, the goals you once believed in. What happened to them? Did they fade because they were impossible? Or because you kept pushing them to someday? Someday is a lie. Someday is where dreams go to die. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself trapped, stuck in the same cycle of wishing, waiting, and watching life pass you by. So break the cycle, destroy the excuses, move. Nothing hurts more than looking back and realizing you could have been more, that you should have been more. Imagine sitting in a rocking chair at 80 years old, replaying your life. What will you see? A life of courage, growth, and achievement? Or a life of missed chances, playing it safe and settling for less? Because that's the price of playing small. You don't just lose opportunities, you lose yourself. You were not born to be average. You were not meant to drift through life settling for whatever comes your way. You have more inside you, but you have to fight for it. You have to want it badly enough to get uncomfortable, to push through fear, to demand more from yourself. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that lasts a lifetime. So decide now. Will you settle or will you rise? 404. Right now you stand at a crossroads. Two paths stretch ahead of you. One leading to regret, mediocrity, and missed chances. The other to action, growth, and unstoppable momentum. The difference, the choices you make every single day. In this world, there are two kinds of people, the 98% and the 2%. The 98% live on autopilot, settling for whatever life throws at them. They blame circumstances, wait for opportunities, and make excuses for why they're not where they want to be. But the 2%, they decide, they take control. They don't wait for permission, and they don't settle for average. They build their future, one action at a time. And here's the truth. You get to choose which group you belong to. So let me ask you, which future will you create? The one filled with regret or the one fueled by relentless progress? The 98% don't start with a plan to fail. They don't wake up and say, I want to live a life of mediocrity. But that's exactly where they end up, because they never make the tough choices. They say things like, I'll do it later. I don't feel ready. What if I fail? And before they know it, a year passes, then 5, then 10. The 98% settle. They take the easy road. They stay in jobs they hate. They ignore their dreams. They let fear control their decisions. And the worst part, they know deep down they could have been more. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to wake up one day, look in the mirror, and realize you've wasted your potential. Because once time is gone, you don't get it back. Now let's talk about the 2%. The 2% don't have more talent. They don't have more luck. What they have is the courage to act. They don't wait until they feel ready. They don't make excuses. They see fear, doubt, and uncertainty, and they move forward anyway. They take risks, they fail, and then they get back up stronger and smarter than before. Every day they push a little harder, grow a little more, and step closer to their goals. That's why they succeed. And here's what's powerful. Anyone can become the 2%. You don't need special skills. You don't need permission. All you need is the decision to take control of your life, starting now. Success isn't built in a day, it's built in moments. Every choice you make, big or small, adds up. The food you eat, the time you wake up, the way you spend your free time, the goals you chase or ignore. These decisions compound. One missed workout turns into a habit. One skipped opportunity turns into a decade of regret. But the opposite is also true. One workout turns into discipline. One book turns into knowledge. One bold decision turns into a completely different future. So ask yourself, what kind of life are you building right now? Because the future isn't some far-off destination, you're creating it today. 4, let me tell you something. Inaction is not free. It has a price, and that price is higher than you can imagine. Every day you hesitate, every opportunity you let slip away, every decision you avoid making, it all adds up. And the bill, it comes due in the form of regret, missed chances, and a life that feels smaller than it should. You see, life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving. The world keeps spinning. And if you stand still, you're not just staying in place, you're falling behind. Success isn't about knowing everything before you start. It's about starting before you feel ready. Because here's the truth. The pain of trying and failing is temporary. The pain of never trying, that one sticks with you forever. Failure stings. No one likes to fall flat on their face. But failure teaches, it strengthens, it shapes you. Regret just eats at you. It's the voice in your head that whispers, what if? It's the thought that haunts you late at night, the missed chances, the dreams you never chased, the risks you avoided because they felt too big, too scary, too uncertain. History is filled with people who failed their way to success. Thomas Edison, over 1,000 failed attempts before he invented the light bulb. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling, rejected by multiple publishers. But they didn't let failure stop them. Because failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. Regret, on the other hand, is permanent. It's a scar you carry forever. So ask yourself, would you rather live with the short-term pain of failure or the lifelong ache of regret? The choice is yours. One of the most painful sentences in the world is, I could have, but I didn't. It's the weight of potential wasted. It's the realization that you had the talent, the ideas, the ability, but you let doubt, fear, or laziness hold you back. You'll meet people who tell you about the things they almost did, the business they almost started, the person they almost asked out, the dream they almost chased. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the sadness in their voice, the unspoken pain of knowing they let their own hesitation steal their future. Don't let that be you. Don't let hesitation and fear write your story. The only way to guarantee failure is to never try. Everything else, it's a lesson. It's a stepping stone. It's progress. And progress beats regret every single time. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when the time is right, when you have more money, more experience, more confidence? Let me tell you a secret. The perfect time doesn't exist. It never has, it never will. The people who win in life aren't the ones who wait for the perfect moment. They're the ones who take action despite uncertainty. They understand that growth happens in motion, not in waiting. They know that confidence isn't something you have before you start, it's something you build along the way. Think about this. How many dreams have been buried under the lie of someday? How many ideas have died waiting for the right time? The clock is ticking. The world isn't pausing for you. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time, right now. Oh, the life you want is on the other side of action. Let me tell you something. Dreams don't come true by themselves. They don't magically appear because you want them to. The life you want, the success, the freedom, the wealth, it's all waiting for you, but there's a wall standing between you and that life. And that wall, it's called inaction. You know exactly what you need to do. Deep down, you already have the answers. But the question is, are you willing to take action? Are you willing to step forward when it's uncomfortable? Because that's where the transformation happens. Everything you desire is on the other side of the action you refuse to take. No more excuses. Your future starts now. Excuses are the chains that keep you locked in the same place. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right skills. I'm not ready. But let's get real, nobody ever starts fully ready. Every successful person you admire started unprepared, uncertain, and afraid. The difference? They moved anyway. The truth is, you either have results or you have excuses, but you can't have both. So today, right now, you make a decision. Are you going to keep telling yourself why you can't, or are you going to take the first step? The future doesn't wait for anyone. Your future starts the moment you stop making excuses and start making progress. The process of building wealth, start small, think big. You don't need $1 million to start. You don't need all the resources or all the knowledge up front. What you need is an idea, a passion, or a service. Start where you are with what you have. Some of the most successful companies in the world started in garages, in basements, on kitchen tables. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is vision. You start small, but you think big. Every step forward, every lesson learned, every late night working toward your goal is a brick in the foundation of your future success. Consistency builds empires. Small actions repeated over time create massive results. The only question is, are you willing to stick with it? Focus on value creation. The secret to wealth is simple. Create more value than you take. Solve a problem, make life easier, add something that wasn't there before. The more people you help, the more valuable you become. Money follows value, it's that simple. Look around you. Every successful entrepreneur, every thriving business, every legacy brand, they exist because they solved a problem. Amazon made shopping easier. Apple made technology simpler. Uber made transportation more accessible. And it all started with an idea. How can I make people's lives better? So ask yourself, what can I create? How can I serve? What value can I bring to the table? When you shift from chasing money to creating value, wealth becomes inevitable. The importance of mastery. Let me ask you something. What are you good at? What can you get better at? Because here's the truth. If you want lasting success, you can't be average. You need to be the best. You need to be the go-to person in your field. Mastery isn't about luck, it's about discipline. It's about showing up every day and sharpening your craft. The people at the top didn't just stumble into greatness, they committed to it. Kobe Bryant wasn't just talented, he practiced for hours when everyone else was sleeping. Elon Musk didn't just wake up successful, he outworked and outlearned his competition. It's never too late to be great, but you have to be willing to commit to the grind. Are you willing to outwork, outlearn, and outlast everyone else? Because that's what mastery demands. Leverage and scaling hard work is important, but let me be clear. Hard work alone won't make you rich. Smart work will. The secret to scaling wealth is leverage. You leverage other people's time, money, and skills to multiply your efforts. Think about it. Jeff Bezos isn't packing every Amazon order. Elon Musk isn't building every Tesla. They built systems, they created networks, they scaled. If you want to grow, you need to stop doing everything yourself. Build a team, automate where you can, and focus on the highest value tasks. That's how you multiply your impact and scale your wealth. Actionable steps. So where do you start? Let me break it down. Identify a market. Find a problem people need solved. Create a solution. Offer something valuable, whether it's a product, a service, or knowledge. Build an audience. Connect with people who need what you have. Test and refine. Get feedback, improve, and scale your offer. And most importantly, take action. Ideas are worthless without execution. Start now, adjust as you go, and keep moving forward. Start small, create value, master your craft, repeat. Success is a formula. Follow it and wealth will follow you. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the action you take next. So what's it going to be?